Hello, and welcome to my Assassin's Creed 3 trophy review. I just platinumed the game last night, actually. It was my 121st platinum, and I was here to do a review on the trophy. As a heads up, this is not a review of the game itself, only the trophies in the game. So, my total playtime was about 40 hours single player, plus there was the multiplayer mode. Now, the single player felt like it took way longer than that, and ps3trophies.org, which is a great site, has the platinum time listed as about 50 to 60 hours. But according to the game clock, it only took 40 single player hours, so I guess we'll go by that. Multiplayer itself was maybe 5 or 6, accounting for horrible connection issues and disconnects, which there were a lot of, which was really frustrating. But if we're talking about actual playtime, probably only spent about 2 or 3 hours on the multiplayer. Okay, so for a difficulty rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give this game about a 5 if you're an Assassin's Creed veteran. If you played the other games before, you're probably going to be looking at a 5. If you haven't played before, I don't think it's overly difficult to get into, but you might be looking at a 6 or 7 if you're new to the series. Now, as far as the trophy breakdown itself goes, you're going to be looking at 1 gold and about 13 silver and 36 bronze. There are some online trophies as well. It's not entirely offline. However, these are pretty manageable, but I must warn you, this game comes with that awful online pass, so you're going to need that to get online. Now, we're looking at about 15 story-related trophies. You're going to get one for each sequence you complete, and one for each of the Desmond missions as well, which are basically story-related. Now, this is the perfect amount for me. I know some people aren't too big on story trophies, or what they like to call lazy trophies. Ones you get, for simply just playing the game. You don't really have to go off the beaten path, go do anything special. But I feel a fair amount of these is actually a pretty good thing. I think, statistically, only 25% of people actually beat the game they're playing. So it really makes sense to reward those that do. Plus, here's the other thing. You aren't just getting these for free. You still have to accomplish these story missions. There's no auto-win feature. You don't just hit X and all of a sudden, you've beaten the game. You still have to overcome the obstacles in the missions. You got to accomplish your objectives. So you're hardly getting these trophies for free. And I think it's a better way to think of them as just that they are unmissable. You don't have to go off the beaten path for them, like I said. You just have to play the main story campaign. Speaking of which, there are no missable trophies in this game, so hats off to Ubisoft for that. Missable trophies are awful, no matter what game they are in, so it's always nice not to see those. Now, however, for those of you who beat the beaten path, so to speak, there are plenty of trophies that cater to your needs. Honestly, probably a bit too many. The biggest offender is the Completionist trophy. This requires you to 100% max out your Animus progress bar to full 100%. This means you have to do everything. Every single story and side mission must be completed and to 100% full synchronization. You have to complete every challenge for every club in the game, in which that alone can take quite a while. You have to 100% sync all the naval missions, the homestead missions. If it's got an optional objective in it, you have to get it done in one playthrough of that mission. And some of the full sync objectives are also really absurd, and they just go against how you want to play the missions. Poor design also makes some of these very difficult to complete, although I hear that through patching some of it has been made easier. But I'll give you an example. I remember one of the naval ones required you to take down an entire fleet of ships in under a minute and a half. So you basically had to be either flawless or just hope the computer would choose to stay close to you and not run away. Some fun, huh? Well, the Completionist trophy alone will probably determine if you want to even bother attempting this platinum. The worst part is that this trophy is only a silver. A silver. It absolutely should have been a gold. There's only 1 gold in this game, and that's for completing the main game itself. They're pretty generous with the silvers, clocking in around 13, so that's cool, but not having a gold for this particular trophy is just silly. Assassin's Creed games have always been stingy with the gold trophies. But there's just no reason that this trophy should be anything but a gold. That's just unacceptable. The good news is you will be rewarded in your pursuit of 100% completion with several other completion-based trophies. You'll get a trophy for finishing the naval missions, finishing one of the clubs, finishing the privateer contracts, so you do get some rewards along the way, which is really nice. I hate when a game has you go all in on one completion trophy and just gives you that one single trophy as a reward. Many of these trophies are also silver, which is really nice. There are some great trophies to pursue in this game as well. There's one called Spit Roast. That's achieved by you impale one enemy with a musket blade, and then if another enemy is in line with him while he's still impaled, you shoot him with the musket. It's pretty neat. I also really like the idea of the Heads in the Clouds trophy. It's how you unlock the Animus hacks, which are kind of like cheat codes in the game. Now, granted, it's not explained very well, but the idea of putting pivots on the map to triangulate the position of a hidden object was a really neat idea. I had a lot of fun going with that. It's kind of a shame that it wasn't used a bit more. Just I like that idea of, narrowing down a search zone and not just by clicking on a clue and saying analyze. Also, as frustrating as it could be, I really like the original Gamer Trophy. What it is, you have to beat 3 board games at your homestead. Now, granted, I used to play 9-Man Morris when I was in elementary school, so maybe that's why I like this one so much, as it kind of went back to my childhood, but it is a good trophy. Although there is this one game you have to play called Verona, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but that game is whack, and yeah, that one wasn't fun at all. There is a trophy I want to mention called Extraordinary Man. You essentially have to observe the inhabitants of your homestead just doing things in their normal daily lives. It sounds really boring, I know, but I actually had a lot of fun with it. The homestead missions and characters that were in them were my favorite part of the game anyway, and this just kind of enriched that even more. I mean, walking around an area that I built, that I created, and seeing those inhabitants go about their lives was serene and peaceful. Also, the animations are great for this. I mean, there's this one moment I love watching the blacksmith. He's putting shoes on a horse, he's nailing them to his feet, and then he just walks over to his grinder and starts working with metal. That was really cool. Now, the only real knock against this trophy is that it's very passive, and you have no control over what your friends do. I mean, I watched the doctor sit on a log and read his book about 6 times before he finally went to his herb garden to work. Luckily, it never really gave me too much of a headache, but with luck-based trophies like this, you always have to be a little wary. Now, there are some multiplayer trophies, but they're pretty easy, especially thanks to the new Wolfpack mode, and you're only required to get to level 20. It really doesn't take that long, again, especially with the Wolfpack mode, so multiplayer is not a big deal. The best trophy in the game goes to a complete set. See all optional characters settled at the homestead. Again, the homestead missions are great, and it's very satisfying to see a community come together for the betterment of everyone. Easily my favorite trophy in the game. It was a joy to see who would join my land next, and I really felt the most attached to Connor during these scenes and missions as well. Now, on the opposite end, the worst trophy, that's going to go to Perfectionist, which is 100% the main story missions. As I mentioned earlier, getting the full sync objectives is more of a pain in the rear than it is fun. Many of the chase missions require you not to bump into a single person. I mean, I believe this was made easier with patching, but it's an awful concept in the first place. Or there's the infamous one where you have to air assassinate someone from a flagpole. It's not only annoying just to get up there, but the game will actually bug out on you, and you can get detected while you're in the middle of jumping. For this time only, Connor feels the need to land on the guy's horse, stall for a second, and then get him. Any other time you do an air kill, it's completely instant, but when you need to do it for mission, no, let's make him wait. It also sucks because you have to get every objective in one playthrough of the mission. So no multiple playthroughs, you can't split up your objectives. Now, as far as the best trophy name, best name goes to How Do You Like Them Apples. The moment that trophy pops up is very appropriate. It comes with a fun twist in the game, and given, the pieces of Eden and the apples and all, the name's pretty clever. My favorite image is the one for Prince of Thieves. It's nothing fancy, of course, but I really like the image of the hand dropping the coins. Now, the worst trophy name is going to go to No Good Deed Goes Unpunished. I hate that saying personally. It's a horrible concept and it makes me sick to think about, but it also happens at one of the dumbest moments in the game, so it earns this nod for sure. Now, the worst image goes to Hunter/Killer. It's just a red V in a box. It's stupid. As far as the platinum name goes, Master Assassin, not bad, really good name. Only problem is you've kind of cheated and used that on other AC titles as well, so that's a no-no. Overall, I'd say this trophy list is about average. Unless you're ready to buckle down and work on Completionist, I wouldn't recommend this game as a platinum. It can be fun at times, but I found it kind of like a slog more often than not. Also, it's shy of some gold trophies, considering how much time and effort you have to put into it. Although I will say that almost all the trophies are skill-based, there's not many luck-based ones, so that's nice. Now, there were some reports of glitch trophies, though thankfully I never ran into this problem. Something to keep in mind too is that there is DLC for this game. My platinum had me at 72%, so if you like seeing 100% on your trophy list, that might be worth keeping in mind. My final score on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being a bad platinum and 5 being great, Assassin's Creed 3 is a 2.5. Very middle of the road, so there's some grinding, there's some fun stuff. You might get more out of it if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, but if you're a trophy hunter like me, there are some better choices out there. Thanks for watching, and feel free to let me know what you think. Have a good one.